End of 60s and early 17th decade. 15 years after World War II, United States was getting ready for another possible war with Russia, and people was getting tired of about the armed conflicts that were going on around the world. United States was looking for new weapons in case of another war, and Albert Hoffman discovered particular substance in a specific kind of fungus. The substance was called LSD. The LSD was saw by United States as a possible weapon. First, the LSD was used as a biological weapon, but it is an hallucinogen, and soldiers could hurt their allies if they ingested. So, United States gave the LSD to the FBI, and the FBI used it as a drug to make people tell the truth. But the responses could not help but left. Finally, United States government decided to make it a legal drug for some time. Mm, in that time, everything was changing, and the hippie culture of 16th decade left a new idea of freedom on people. People start to have a life based on liberty and debauchery, and on a way of living more separate of material belongings. In that way, 17th decade was very involved in sex, drugs, and rock and roll. These 3 points mark completely this decade, because for people, sex, debauchery, and consume LSD and listen to the new groups of rock and roll represent the freedom that they were looking for. Mm, Now, Charles Manson, born in Ohio at 1934, he never knew his father. He left his mother at 42, but when he was a child, he lived with his mother and one brother, and they both were thieves. So his childhood were between criminals. Mm, there exists a lot of versions about the childhood of Charles Manson, but those are very clouded because media invented a lot of histories about Charles Manson when he got famous, when he became in a famous person. So no one's know which one is the real story. When he was young, he got arrested 2 times for robbing cars, and sometime after that he decided to change like his behaviors, his way of living, and he tried to become in a musician. He showed his abilities to the drummer of the Beach Boys, the band, but he said that Charles didn't have what's necessary to be a good musician. That completely destroyed Charles and made him wanted to go to live very from city and from all material belongs. He wanted to be like a hippie. He was like a hippie, but a little crazy. In that point, he decided to look for some person, for some people that shared that way of city life, and he found that kind of people like very fast. In in 1962, Charles Manson formed a group that some years later would be called the Family Manson. He found some people that shared that same idea of the life, freedom, of liberty and debauchery. Some of those persons were Ted Watson, Susan Atkins, Linda Kasabian, among others. Um, let's say that Manson controlled them with sex and with LSD. This group, had orgies, and when they had the orgies, according to what Susa and Linda say to the police, all the group saw to Charles like a god. They say that when they looked to Charles, they were looking like a god. But he was just a manipulator. He was manipulated. On this picture here, you can see like the most important members of the group, but because they were like the more close people to Charles, and also they were the people responsible of comply the orders of Charles. Charles was obsessed with Helter Skelter. Helter Skelter was a song written by the Beatles, and for Charles, according to him, he used to say that that song was a premonition that talked about a racial war that will happen in the future. And he decided that a good idea would be start to eliminate black people so white people will want this imaginary war. To him, the best way to achieve it was to kill some white famous person and linked the crimes with black gangsters crew. So he decided to leave some message on the scenes of the crime with some words that could link that crimes with black people. For example, some words like pig or like black power. He thought that in that way police would go after black people and this imaginary war would be won by the white people. This group, the Manson family, was involved in the murder of Gary Hinman, of Sharon Tate, but the murder that made them famous was the LeBlanc murder. That was the murder of Leno and Rosemary LeBlanc. This was like the murder that made Manson family very famous. But police didn't take too much to the police to take to took this person into the jail. The first one was Susan Atkins. She got in jail first. Then she was and by Linda. The three were the first on jail, and takes Linda and Patricia were prosecuted to life imprisonment, and then Charles Manson. Charles Manson was taken to Los Angeles Country State Prison for 7 counts, for 7 different crimes, and for planning the murder of the president. At the end, Charles died in 2017. Until his last day, he is still saying that he was a god, and that for him, that was just the beginning, and that was the end of a manipulator.